Hey guys, what's going on? Andrew coming at you. And Snilson sent me an email, or actually a comment on a YouTube video, and I thought I would go into it. He kind of wants a guide for Swedes visiting America for the first time. So I'm first going to go ahead and read his comment because I think this would be a lot of fun. He wants to go to Columbus, Ohio, so I thought I would talk about that. So first, hey Andrew, sorry if I was unclear. DV Lottery is the diversity visa lottery. By winning the lottery, you get a green card. Sorry, smiley face, which was important to put in. For my Google research these past months, I have found that Columbus, Ohio is the place for me. Decent weather, strong economy, lowish cost of living, and the people seem to be really nice and helpful. My plan is to do a road trip from Ohio down to North Carolina to visit a few cities that looks interesting. Louisville, Nashville, Charlotte, Greenville, and Raleigh, North Carolina. Or Raleigh. I know you're from Pittsburgh, and it would be interesting to hear your take on these places, or perhaps convince me to go to PA instead. The most important factors for me are the weather and the people. I'm not the biggest fan of the cold and dark winters here, but I don't like the extreme humidity and heat either, and the people go without saying. I'm a bit tired of the culture here in Sweden. Americans are a lot more outgoing and easy, and I guess you can understand what I'm referring to. I'm working as a manager at BMW dealership today and have done that successfully the past 3 years, and I hope that could lead me to a decent job. It doesn't have to be a managing position, but I don't expect to flip burgers. I mean, be naive, but I would like to try at least. All the best. First of all, Snilson, thank you for that comment. It was kind of cool and interesting. I kind of want to go into first what you said. I think Columbus, Ohio is like a really, really cool place to go. When I was a kid, or younger, I guess college years, I had a friend that was going to university in Columbus. And we made a tradition. It was called Red, White, and Boom. It was the 4th of July celebration. We would go every year. So like the last 3 or 4 years, we decided to go together. We had a really, really good time. Columbus is a really fun city because it's also where Ohio State is. Ohio State is like a massive university. And so kind of most of Columbus, in a sense, even though it's a small city, is probably the university. It's a young kind of hip town. I think there's a lot going on. I always had a really fun and good time when I was there, so I very, very much enjoyed it. I think anywhere you're going to go, it's going to be great in the States. It just depending on what you want. The cost of living, I think, is going to get lower as you go in the South. Weather should get warmer, but you are going to have to deal with sometimes crazy humidity, which does happen in the South. Even when I was in Virginia at times in the summer, I feel like times in the States, it gets too brutal to really go outside, and you really need air conditioning, which is hard to believe, but Sweden can get warm, but just not in the same kind of way, in my opinion, as far as it can get here, where it just feels it'll be a lot more brutal. The final interesting thing I will say about your comment is I thought it was interesting that you work in sales in BMW, and I was just going to go into the fact that my father works in the car business, and I think that probably the car business in Sweden and the States would be very, very different. I heard in Sweden that if you want to test drive a car, you basically they hand you the keys and you go out and drive the car, which I worked in sales as well as a car salesman for a little bit of time. That blows my mind because how do you in order to get someone to buy a car, you kind of want to demonstrate the value of the vehicle. You want to justify why someone's going to pay the certain amount they're going to pay. And I just thought that was interesting in the end. I think you could work in car sales in the States, but it might be being a manager would be different, and dealing with numbers would be much different, and being probably certified would be different, but it's probably something you could do, but the hours are going to be much longer in the States. I'm very curious if you could reply to this video, Snilson, as far as what kind of hours you work, because when I worked in the car business, it would be 9 in the morning till 9 at night, so it'd be 3 days a week would be like 12 hours, and then 2 days a week would be 8 hours. It was a very long work schedule. It was about 50 hours a week that I used to work, and my father still works in the car business. So I've always had a lot of respect for the car business because I used to be like a lot of people like you. Maybe the car business has kind of a negative reputation because you think they're always ripping you off. But the longer I worked in kind of the car business, I saw how much work actually went into just getting one car out of the lot and to sell the car, and how much people or actually jobs are depending on the car business. Like you buy a car, someone's going to repair that car. People are selling that car. There's a lot of people that work at a car dealership, and it's a lot of people that the car business actually employs. So you can always judge sometimes the American economy, at least on how many cars they're selling. And I think of companies like Ford and GM. So just a kind of a side business, as my business brain was starting to work there. But I really enjoyed your comment. I thought it would kind of be fun to go in and do this. And I hope you enjoy this one. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.